Okay, I got it recording. Welcome to the Referral Challenge Q&A Mastermind call for Friday, August 11th, 2017. No big updates or anything like that, so let's just jump into it. Chris, it's good to see you, man. Let us know how things are going and any questions you have.
Let's see what's going on. Trying to work between referral challenge and all of Rick's nutrition stuff.
Oh,
And,
good.
so yeah, so a lot going on. Trying to get it all done. But my focus right now for the referral challenge has been securing my charity because we still haven't gotten that going yet. So I finally met with my charity a few days back, which was a local animal society. So went and actually toured their whole facility and spent about 90 minutes there just learning all about their organization and what they do, and spoke with their staff there, and I actually was able to hand them $500 when I went there because I had just done a charity workout for their organization.
Wow.
So that was great when I was able to do that. And then we basically talked about working together in the future and cross promoting and all that. So I think I got it locked in. So we're going to go ahead and start. Now my goal is going back through the materials on the onboarding process, as well as the onboarding SOP, as well as the check-in for charity, and get all that going now that we have the charity locked down.
Outstanding. Were you able to get a picture of you donating the check?
So we had multiple pictures, and we are posting them both ways.
Excellent. Well, that's good. So you got traction on that front. That's great. I want you to, I know you're busy, and so when you get the time, but I really want to encourage you to take a look at the Smart Start, the Smart Start training, which is a Facebook group stuff, the ultimate lead.
I got that up already. I did that last week. So the page is up. The page is got content already scheduled through October, and we're ready to rock. We're just going to start making the announcements here and start getting the word out. So is there anything else that I need to be doing other than that at this point with that page?
No, I just go hard with that. And on Monday, we got a bunch of tools that we're wrapping up this weekend, and we're going to deliver them on Monday. So there'll be some announcement emails. Aaron's written a press release for it. We got a landing page design that you can put together, keeping it simple on that front, just so you can do lead capture, because that's a key component. So there's some tools that need to be implemented, but they're pretty straightforward. And of course, they'll give you more speed because you don't have to create the stuff yourself. I mean, you got to build the landing page, but we'll show you how, and you can leverage the video. So there's but that is, I'm trying to get everybody focused on that, because I think that has that's the way to drive leads on a very consistent basis and just grow your positioning within the local marketplace. So that would be the thing.
Yeah, I just have to figure out how to do that video. I mean, your instructions were pretty clear, but I got to get in there and play around with it.
Stand in front of a camera and get started.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to do it, Chris, is to do it, and you'll get better each time. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing I'm hearing with everybody too, is they're worried about getting in front of the camera or doing the video. You know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be you.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead, Rick. Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing. I mean, if you look at it the way Eric's got it, it's really a PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
You just need to do the audio behind it and be you. You'll be able to go back and edit that. You can even edit it in PowerPoint, so you can cut out any uhs or does or any place you mess up. Just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It needs to be you. It needs to be them hearing your voice behind that PowerPoint presentation. No more, no less. Everybody's trying to overthink it.
Yeah,
is really what it boils down to. Just go do it, and you're going to be perfect, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not worried so much about the audio there. Eric, explain to me the numbers next to each line. What exactly did that represent on the script? Was that like how many clicks? I'm not quite sure.
A click, because what I found is, see, one of the things that's crucial when you're not on even if you're on camera, you got to keep things moving, so people stay engaged. If there's two, and you have to be animated, louder, a little bit louder, a little bit more intonation in your voice. But so when you're recording this, yeah, inflections, it's very important that you record with speed. And so what I did is, like, I had my script here, okay? So I'd have my script, and I'd just look at the script. I didn't look at the screen. I knew it was on the screen. I had the PowerPoint up, and I had the Screencast-O-Matic set to record. So I'd hit record, and then I'd look at my screen, and then for every click, I'm just hitting that down arrow. Every time I see a number next to a line, I'm just hitting the down arrow, and that way everything's corresponding properly. The words that are on the screen are corresponding to what I'm reading. There are other ways to do it. You can record your script independently and then match it up with your video, but that's even a little more technical. And so I just find
that's a lot more work. The way Eric's saying it is actually perfect. That's the best way to do it. I agree. It's just as you're speaking, that number pops up, you hit that number, you hit the down arrow, and your PowerPoint's the slides are going to go along with what you're saying that way while you're recording, instead of trying to record it and then go back and sync it up with the each
right. And just, yeah, and plan on a couple takes. I mean, it took me like 3 takes to nail it where I was happy. And just plan on a couple takes. So, you need a half an hour to bang this thing out, and maybe a little bit more if you're, unfamiliar and just getting, but once it's done, and you leverage it for ever.
Yeah. And then what's the plan then? We're Facebook posting it, driving ads to that. Like, how are we leveraging that video?
In a lot of different ways. Ads are one way. Facebook posts to it. We're going to set it up on a landing page so that you can drive, your partners can drive their lists to it. It's great for publicity. When you send out, Aaron's written some publicity some emails to the media, and also a press release. So that can drive so that the media can see the video and they get a clear understanding of exactly what your Smart Start group is about, in 5 minutes without reading a long, lengthy description. So there's a lot of ways that we can leverage it.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll keep looking for more.
Okay. Got it.
All right, good. Let me jump down to Genesis real quick, because I know Genesis is in the middle of, or about to launch Habit Maker, and so Camelia was telling me. So Genesis, how's it going, man?
It's going good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. So sorry that I was making some noise. I didn't realize you can hear me right away. But I'm throwing some headphones in real quick so I can hear you guys better. Okay, cool. Yeah, so currently on Tuesday, I just launched out the emails to our list. Whatnot is going pretty good so far. So we're getting close to like 10, 11 people registered just through the list. Then I will post on Facebook, and clients are, they'll come around too and all that. So I'll easily be able to get 30, 40 people. But yeah, so got that going. I was kind of, I asked a question in the group about member content for the Facebook and whatnot. And I know you mentioned something about that, so I wanted to get access to that. But yeah, launching it, I think I'm going to use Coach Catalyst to kind of educate them more, track everything in the sense of measurements or anything if we do any of that, metric stuff and all that. I just want to say thank you on the setup, though, man. It makes it really easy to set everything up. So you laid it out very well. Love it. But yeah, so I think it's going to be a great thing. Our BNI people, some of those people are even joining too. So yeah, it's going to look like it's going to be a good hit.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. So I replied to your comment on the Facebook page, but just now I'll tell you that when you log into the member site, just go to the bonus tools section, and then it's in the motherload content. There's just a ton of content there that you can use for Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want.
And this will be in the local leverage web member area?
MyLocalLeverage. Well, you got to go to www.mylocalleverage.com, and that, because it's a subdomain, so that'll get you right there. Yeah, log in to 2.1 Kaizen, and then in the bonus tools, motherload content.
Okay, cool. Then just kind of just on our nutrition for the most part, we're doing guidelines. I'll run it by you. Obviously, what we expect in the meals, sample meal plans, and all that kind of stuff. shouldn't get too crazy, or how in depth should we go with that, you think?
Well, it just so happens we have a nutrition expert on the call today, so I will defer to Mr. Streb and see what you think. Rick, he's talking about Habit Maker Challenge, which is just the 21-day challenge, and what are your thoughts on that in terms of, dripping nutrition content, how in depth it should go?
Well, you're doing a 21-day challenge. You want to get them to get results quick. Okay, so that's your first thing, Genesis, is you need to have something. I think you need to give them at least a week in advance of whatever you're providing for nutrition. Okay, because they have to be able to plan their weeks out. I've seen a lot of trainers try to do it a day or two at a time. Your clients can't plan, and they're going to get frustrated with it real quick. So I would give my clients a week in advance so they can plan, do their grocery shopping. It just depends on how you're delivering it. But I think you need to at least give them that much in advance. Don't give them too much, because then you can also, it creates the opportunity to have conversations with them, towards the end of the week, build up your relationship with them, and just have conversations where there's communication back and forth, where you can coach them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So enough for them to get them going, but enough for them to need some coaching and be able to collide with us and all that.
Yes, you want to have that interaction. That's the whole thing. Too many trainers want to just give them everything and put it on autopilot, and
Gotcha.
That's how you lose people. Okay, There's no accountability then. That's like you said, you're using Coach Catalyst, which is awesome. I love Trevor and Kane, and it's a great product. However, the real accountability doesn't come through Coach Catalyst. It comes through you being the coach. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense. Absolutely makes sense. That's a good way to approach it.
That's where you want to do it. Just like you hold them accountable for their workouts, you need to do the same thing here. You can't put it on autopilot. It doesn't work. It'd be like expecting your clients to show up on their own and and do things on their own. The problem with that is they hired you to hold them to a higher standard than they hold themselves. We need to do the same thing with the nutrition. So just enough to get them on point, but also just enough to where you can have a conversation with them, continue building that relationship, and continue coaching them.
Okay, that's great. That makes total sense.
Yeah, and so one of the things you could do, like if you're building out an autoresponder sequence or a broadcast sequence, whatever, email contacts where you're delivering content, nutrition-related content, you can always say in those emails, hey, if you've got questions, just reply to the email or post your questions in the Facebook group if you've got it, or whatever other, call me on the phone, that kind of thing. You can also offer to them, a nutrition consultation to sort of upsell and start the ball rolling in that regard. I think it's just important to continue to prompt them to ask questions, to engage with you.
That's the idea. That makes total sense.
Yeah, great.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is you want to be able to continue engaging them as much as you can. The more contact you have with them, the more likely they're going to continue on with you.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Genesis, are you running into any problems with Habit Maker? Anything not making sense, not working the way you'd hoped it would work, or the way I said it might work?
You could have went over this, but delivering the I reached out to my nonprofit. They didn't have a trackable donation link, so I'm going to have to send them to a generic donation link page, but I have an idea of them just basically forwarding the receipt they get from them, because they'll email them a receipt. So I'll tell them, hey, just forward it. When do we roll that out? A couple days before the orientation, during the orientation? When do we have them pay the actual $21?
It depends on how you're gonna do a group orientation, get everybody.
Yeah, we find that because we know our past challenges, that's what we've been doing, and obviously with the smaller staff, that'll be the best thing for us.
I think that's a great idea, and I would encourage you also to look at using an adaptation of Rick's fast action offer, giving folks an opportunity in that orientation to essentially sign on as a member at a reduced rate if they choose to, with no pressure. It's just like, hey, if you'd like to do this, since they're not buying anything technically from you at this point, it's just a donation to charity, it could be very soft, but you could say, hey, this is a one-time opportunity. But if you would like to stay with us after the Habit Maker Challenge is over, you can get, at some sort of reduced rate. So take a look at Rick's Fast Action Offer. It's posted in the Facebook group.
I got it. Yeah, I checked that out. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it gives you the opportunity, instead of having to meet them again, Genesis, you can set it up in advance, what your offer is, get them to sign on to it, and then it now puts the burden on them to come to you and tell you if they're not going to continue, instead of you having to search them down, run them down to ask them if they're going to continue. Which is a lot of work for over 30, 40, 50 people or something like that. That's the whole idea. That's why I do it that way. I get them to sign on right there. And it's like Eric said, it's a non-pressure thing. Look, we're setting this up in advance. If you decide you want to continue, here's what you're getting. If you don't decide, we're just doing it in advance because in 21 days, you don't want me to start chasing you down, do a hard pressure sale. I'm giving you a chance to lock it in, and then you just have to let me know 7 days beforehand if you're not going to continue. Basically, what I do is I make everybody responsible for themselves. It requires everybody being responsible, respectable adults, which is who we want in our programs anyway. Yeah. And I honestly tell it to them like that too. I'm very transparent about it, and just tell them, if you're, this eliminates the flakes, and I have a obligation to my current client base to eliminate flakes and only work with the other respectful, responsible adults. Now, if you're in a group setting and you put it that way, who's going to put their hand up and say, I'm a flake? Nobody. It just doesn't happen. I think, wasn't it Wayne did it after I kind of walked through it with him, and he closed, what did he say, like 10 out of 10? Yeah, it was, good close. I think it's a great tactic to utilize, as long as you're, the key, of course, is being confident in the presentation of it, but, you got no problem with that. But Genesis, to get to your specific question regarding taking the donation, I think that the best way probably is going to have your admin or somebody to help you, so you don't have to deal with it. Just have a screen up with on the charity page, and and just have process people one by one, or maybe even better, you can just get them to fill out a form, and that way the forms can just be handed to your admin, and while you're doing your orientation presentation, you can just be processing forms. That's probably even better. Okay, cool. So I'll look on the website, see if I can print anything out or anything like that, or create my own or something. But yeah, cool. Yeah, good. All right, cool. Yeah, so the move is to now have my admin reach out to them and confirm their spot in the orientation. Then at that point, we'll explain how the donation will work and all that kind of thing. So, okay, cool. All right, great. Yeah. And be sure you do something after the fact. We can talk about this later on, but do something after the fact to leverage this news that you're generating money for the charity and all that. Got you. Yeah, it could be a significant amount of money. Adrian had a comment here. He said, Genesis, when you're using Rick's fast action method, make sure that you're communicating with the client and engaging them in the process the whole time.
Yep, I just made that comment because I want to make sure that when you're using that kind of tactic, to get them engaged as fast as possible. Because the risk that you run with it is getting people to take action on what you initially offer and then cancel later on. Gotcha. But get them engaged fast with everybody, every coach you have, every person available. That'll reduce the risk of people leaving sooner than later. That's why I mentioned that.
Yeah. So when you say engaged, you mean get them working, get them coming in for the workouts, getting them, participating, all that stuff. Yeah.
In my experience, when a member meets with more than one coach, like for example, we have an accountability coach who does measurements. We have a nutrition coach who meets with them one-on-one to do nutrition. When I notice that people are doing that faster than sooner than later, they engage longer term and they realize how we're different, we can help them. So if you have something set up like that, Genesis, that helps a lot.
So like when orientation, hey, book your sessions now. Let's all plan it now. Let's basically set everything up now, get them all committed.
Yeah, future forecast for them. Get them excited about what's to come.
Yep. Beautiful. I love that. Thank you.
The system works. Just get them engaged with the people. The sooner the better.
Cool. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Future pacing is really, really powerful. No doubt. Yep. The other thing that's really powerful, and I want you to keep in mind, Genesis, is the urgency to enroll in the habit maker. So work that deadline hard. Just give you an example. I mean, when we did this last enrollment for the referral challenge just a few weeks ago, we had 41 new people, and half of them came in on the last day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You got to learn, and Eric and I talked about this too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Eric, but you got to remember that deadlines work.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what Eric and I talked about this particular thing. Was I even predicted to him that at least half, if not more, was going to sign up on the last day. And within the last 6 hours, I bet even most of them signed up.
Yeah.
Deadline people, it's a just perverted part of human nature. They wait till the last minute. So use deadlines as much as you can, incentivize them with deadlines, and your enrollment's going to go up considerably.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All good stuff. I love it. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Well, thank you for rolling it out and just going for it. And listen, if you need anything in the meantime, as you roll up to your deadline, just hit me up, Genesis. I'm happy to support you any way I can.
Cool. Definitely. You lay it out really well, so it allows me to just roll through it, for the most part. But yeah, awesome. Definitely will.
Okay. All right. Great. And Adrian made the comment, which is a valid one, that we always work the deadline, which is the urgency, but there's also can be sometimes a scarcity component. It really depends. With scarcity, meaning, number of seats available, number of spots available. When you use that, there are a lot of people online that use that stuff in a bullshit way. It's just completely fabricated. And that, I hate seeing that. So when you use it, it needs to be honest. But in some cases, you'll take as many as you can get. But if you can use it, it absolutely helps.
Yeah, absolutely. If I can make a comment to that piece about limited spots, what Eric said is true. Like, a lot of people online use it when there's virtually no limitation.
Right.
But if you're in my position, which is legit, you can only take on so many people. One of the qualifiers when you mention limited spots is make sure that people know that there's a lot of individualized attention that goes into the service that you offer. And if you can stand behind that and really say, hey, look, I want to take care of you. I want to know you as a person. We can only take 50. We can only take 75, whatever you want to limit it to. We can only take this many people because we want each person to get the attention they deserve during our program and not just treat you like a number. So you got to qualify it when you do the limited spots, but remind people about that and then prove it. And then if you can get more social proof geared toward how you treated them well, how you gave them attention, how they felt cared for, all the better.
Yeah. Beautiful.
That's dead on the money, correct, right there.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it gets back to that full transparency thing we were talking about. Tell them why. Tell them exactly why you're only taking so many. You can't just say, we're only taking this amount, or you can't create scarcity without explaining why. Whenever you tell people why you're doing things, they understand it. The story behind it is really important. And this is where Aaron and Eric gets really big into the storytelling. And so you tell them the story why you're only taking 30 people or whatever. That, look, we already have a huge workload. This is, we're taking these people because we don't want to overwork our clients. We want to make sure we're giving everybody the attention they deserve. It makes sense, and it's compelling, and it adds to that scarcity. So again, that, to me, transparency is the biggest part of it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well said.
Yeah.
And the what you said about proof too, Adrian, is so incredibly valuable, because even if you have a good story and you articulate it well, people could still be skeptical. But when you show them, like for instance, if you were to take a screen grab of your MindBody or whatever CRM you're using and you show that you have 307 active members, and you can say, well, look, my max, the fire marshal says I can only have 320 people in here or whatever. That's hardcore proof. Yeah.
That's a good one too. That's a darn good reason.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to ask for it at the end of whatever you're offering or during. Like, don't be afraid to over deliver. Don't be afraid to ask people how you can do better or what they're experiencing, or even if they want to leave a review or a testimonial for you. Genesis, I don't know, have you been in this group for a long time yet?
Yeah, I was part of the original group you launched it with.
If you can get through the social proof SOP or the whichever one that is, get through that.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
testimonials.
Attach that to your programming, and that'll take you a lot further because Aaron and Eric have laid out a great way to give testimony.
I just did my first video one based off that last Friday, actually. So I'm putting it together and all that. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, do that, man.
Thank
That'll
you
go
for
a long
reminding me.
way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Genesis, anything else we can help you with right now?
That was kind of like the major thing. So as I'm launching it, getting people and promoting it, I'll kind of fill people in and let people know it's going, and I'll let you kind of know new people versus current clients and all that. So I'm getting some brand people I've never seen, like never heard of, off the list, obviously. So it's people for sure that I've never got in contact with or signing up for it. So that's a good thing. I saw a few of those. So I'm like, I never recognize this name, so it's cool.
Excellent. Yeah. I'm glad to hear it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Chris, let me jump back to you because I didn't check with you. Is there anything else that you want to discuss? Any other issues beyond what we just talked about earlier?
No, I'm just trying to maintain, perspective on what the priority is right now within the referral challenge. So I think, like I said, I got the onboarding process is all but done. But I was just waiting on the components that were related to the charity in that SOP, so I can clean that up, and should be done within the week, and then focus on the ultimate lead magnet, and and then I'm heading into the before and after posters on the wall.
Good. Yeah,
so going back to that. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Well, that's good. So. Adrian, you are in a new location, and I assume it is a Starbucks or something similar.
I'm on the east side now. So originally I'm in Kalamazoo, which is like here. Now we're on the east side toward Lake Huron. We have a tiny little cabin that we've had for forever in our family. Catherine, who's right next to me, abducted me for the week. But that doesn't stop me from being on these calls because this is like the first time I've genuinely loved being on a mastermind call. So I'm just here to help. I don't know.
We appreciate that. That's awesome. So the background that we're seeing right now is your cabin. You're inside your cabin.
No, luckily I don't have internet access at my cabin, so it's nice to get away from. This is a little coffee shop that they have here in the area that they've added since last year. So I'm just sitting against the wall.
It looks very rustic. It's very cool looking. I like that.
Yeah, they have a lot of this brick around the walls. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. All right, good. Well, just give us an update. How are things going on your end? And I know you're here to support, and I appreciate that. But if you've got any questions, we're happy to help.
Yeah, definitely. The main thing right now is simply landing out a progression chart for one of my coaches, or even an admin, if that has to be the case, to go from where they're at to being a facility manager. That's simply my main task right now, is to figure out that line of progression, because I think the more I think about how to systematize things, and it helps actually, like being gone away from my facility. Like I read a lot while I'm here. I think a lot while I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
And it gives me time to be away from it. So one of my lines of thinking during this time is, now that I am gone, what's not being done that I'm away that needs to be done in the business or on the business that I could delegate? And so that's kind of where my thought process is now. It's just that I got done reading Profit First. Very good read. If you guys haven't done it yet, read it. I actually went through their network of Profit First professionals. I talked with them yesterday. Super helpful. Got everything set up. Get me started on how to allocate my income to different accounts. So really excited to start that process to actually get it set. And then so I kind of put my expansion on the backseat because of that. Because I think, right now with where I'm at, I'm not able to afford an expansion with my own cash reserves. So I want to be able to get to that point. And it's like you said, Eric, a long time ago, it's nice to have a line of credit. It's even nicer not to use it. Yeah. So I want to get to the point where I can expand on my own affordability. So that's my main focus. So even if it means if I stay where I'm at with my small space, maybe some people will leave and go to the other fit body because we're limited. I don't know what to do about that except wait it out. But my goal is that at the end of I have 2 more years on that agreement with FitBody, and I plan on leaving after that point. So I'm just going to wait it out for now and let's expand in the future. So I'm reshifting my focus to what I can control. So right now, one of the things I can control is get a progression path set out where I can take a coach or take even an outsider get them in, get them onboarded, show them what it means to run a business, and basically put them at risk or put them at stake for profitability and ownership. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with my thinking, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. It's awesome. Everything you said just makes me happy. There's nothing there that I would frown at. I think that's outstanding. And just a couple things. Did you read Mike Fernandez's post where he outlined the level 1, level 2 coach?
Not yet. Only because Catherine wants my time here, so that's why.
Well, good for Catherine, and she's a smart woman, and that she knows what's good for you. But when you get a chance, make a note to do that, to read.
Okay.
Post.
So that was from last week's call. So he posted that in the group.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. Okay. It's very detailed. It's very helpful, and that's kind of exactly what you need as a framework you can work off of. The other comment I will make to you very seriously, I've said this many times to you before, that you're going to do real well because you're squared away at a young age. But now that you've got that profit first in place and you've got people helping you with that, I assure you, by the time you're my age or even before that, maybe by the time you're 40 or sooner, you'll be a millionaire. If you continue on this pace and keep doing smart things, you'll be a millionaire. I assure you that if you're smart with your money and you're doing all the right things. So good on you.
And by smart with your money, what does that mean exactly, Eric?
Saving.
Got it.
That's number one. And intelligently investing, not going for huge returns, just, making your monmet grow, making it work for you.
Got it.
Yeah. Just the shift in your mindset since I first met you on here, Adrian, is night and day.
You guys have helped a lot with that.
You have I don't ever say I'm proud of anybody because I don't have a right to be proud of you, but my God, you should be proud of what you've done.
Thanks, well, coming from you, that means a lot.
Yeah, just get those margins squared away, fatten those up a little bit, and you'll have a gravy train.
Yeah, I think, and on that note, so I want to talk about. I'm going to look at Mike's post, and one thing I can get you guys advice on for me personally is I know for myself I'm very scarcity mindset when it comes to clients and number of clients. So, like for me, being the gatekeeper because we have a small space. I don't want to run the risk of people going to the one down the street from me, the other Fit Body down the street. And for those of you who don't know, to bring you up to speed, there's like another Fit Body boot camp, like 5 minutes down the road from me. It's kind of BS. That's how they set it up. So it's really hard to.
There's 2 different locations. You don't own that one? So
no, I don't own that one. Yeah.
Oh,
yes. And to the consumer, obviously, perception is the name of the game. So it's the same thing, even though we're different. Yep. So that's the situation I've been in for a while, Genesis, just so you know. But nonetheless, we've been doing fine.
Tell you, man.
Yeah. And so being part of the gatekeeper, who I have to be now to regard the space, it's hard because I want to take on as many people as I can, but I don't want to, it's hard. Because I can say, hey, look, we're only taking 40 more people. Are you in or are you not? And I guess if they're not, then so be it. The other people can take them. Maybe that's a benefit to me. I don't know. I guess I want to ask how you guys would approach that in a conversation. Like during sales consults, do I become more of an aggressive salesperson, or do I start taking a back seat and saying, hey, how does this person fit into my culture? How does this person fit into my fitness family, I guess,
I'll just give my 2 cents and we can go around. But I think, sometimes in a sales conversation, you can get a really, really good feel for that person sitting across from you. Sometimes you can't. They might be like a jerk initially and end up being the best client you ever had.
That's true.
I try not to prejudge too much. But what I would do, I would continue selling the way you normally sell with a very strong takeaway. That's all. And by strong, I just mean to say, I have a limited number of spots. We'd love to have you in here, but these spots are filling up quickly, and so you need to make a decision today. That kind of thing, because you have that power. You are near capacity.
And when would it be a good time to insert that? After I present what we offer and the prices, then after I've listened to their concerns and understand them, would that be the time?
I'd drop it. I'd subtly tease it in the beginning. I might say something like, hey, I'm glad you're here because and I might even have something that I'd show them and be like, what, we were just talking about this today, about how we're nearing capacity, and we can really only take a few more people. And so just a subtle mention to sort of put it in their mind, anchor it in there, and then move on with your regular process. And then maybe another subtle mention, depending on how long you're with them. And then towards the end, if there's any hemming or hawing, then you push it. But that's my 2 cents. Everybody else, thoughts on that?
It's like putting a velvet rope around the nightclubs. You know how they do that?
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. You're putting that velvet rope around your business. So now it creates almost like an exclusive club to get in your facility.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you're getting close to being in that position, which is a good thing. Because, I mean, I use that because, I mean, to a certain degree, it's like, I tell clients, I'm in a position because we're at near capacity to where I can really be particular about who I allow into our facility. Not only do I want you to be us to be a good fit for you, but I need to make sure you're a good fit for our community. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have a responsibility to all these other awesome people in there. So it gives you a position where you can have that conversation. And now, what do people always want? To be accepted.
Yeah.
And so that becomes a very powerful tool in your favor.
So with that being said, Rick, part of my thinking here is that while I'm presenting, obviously, so the first basically half of any consult is me strictly listening. That's it, asking questions, listening.
Mm-hmm.
Once we've gotten a sense of what their needs are, problem build, and then while I'm showing the value in it, I'm thinking that would be a time of having a conversation of, hey, this is our expectations of our members here. This is who we look for. This is what it means to be part of the fitness family here. And this is how it goes.
Yeah.
Does that sound good to you? And I would ask them that. Like, does that kind of make sense?
Not does that sound good to you? Is that the kind of facility you're wanting to be associated with, to be a part of?
That's a better question.
Yeah, you want them to say that they want to be a part of your community.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah. And then another thing I was thinking about, and I kind of talked about it with Catherine a little bit just the other day. Eric, how you told me the other day how if there maybe aren't a good fit, having people to refer them out to, and then even negotiating maybe a almost like a split payment where if I refer a client to another place, they reimburse me in some fashion. So I'm thinking about actually pursuing that. My thought process is to approach the people that I actually know, because I work out at different places and I've been here long enough to know people, and actually approaching them and saying, hey, if I refer people to you, it may not be a good fit for me and might be a better fit for you. I might argue for their first month's membership payment even just to that. So I might pursue that and let you know how that goes. Let all of you guys know how that goes, because and Aaron actually and I talked about it a while ago, but I've always been scared of losing the sale. But if I can find a way to help that person, even if it's not through me, that makes me feel better. So Eric, when you said find other gym owners and maybe approach them about working a deal for referrals, that would make me feel even more secure during the consult, knowing that if I'm not helping them directly, maybe they're not a good fit, I can help them some other way, right?
Yeah, but let me give you a suggestion on that. I think when you reach out to them, just say, hey, I might run into this problem because I'm nearing capacity. When you reach out to the gym owner, say,
Yeah.
I might run into this problem because I'm nearing capacity, and I want to know if you can accept and handle a referral if I send it your way. And if they say, yeah, fine, then I wouldn't pursue any type of monetary conversation at that point. Then, so now you have a source. So now the next step is if you actually get somebody and you need to refer them, then it's hot. You have a hot lead who's ready to buy. So then you get on the phone with the business owner, the gym owner, and you say, I've got this person. Here's all I need from you in order to send them over is you commit to giving me 50% of the first month or 100%, whatever you think is appropriate. They're probably going to, there's going to be some haggling and you got to be prepared to haggle, but that's when you want to hit them with the money, when you've got the actual money in your hands ready to give them. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. And in your case then, because there's always that expression where you strike when the iron's hot, does it make sense to literally call up the owner at the end of a consult while that person is still in the room? Or is it fine if you do it afterwards?
No, not while they're in the room.
Okay.
You know what you do is you tell them, you know what, I'm going to reach out to this other business owner. I think you'd be a real good fit. Let me see what I can work out for you. Because what you want them to do at the end of that, if they're not going to be training with you, you still want them to feel like you're looking out for their best interest, and it makes you their trusted advisor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that shift in their mindset is going to be huge. So just say, hey, let me reach out to this business owner, see if I can get something put in place for you. I want to make sure they are actually going to be a good fit for you, and I'll get back to you as soon as I hear from them.
Okay, got it. That makes sense.
That's the way I would do it.
Okay. Yep.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Okay.
Real quick, Eric, I just thought of a question. Adrian sparked in my brain, but I have clients that, obviously old clients that will be signing up for the 21-day for the Habit Maker. What should I do about charging training in the sense of, because obviously new clients that haven't been with us are going to pay $21 bill to get, the full shebang. But clients who haven't been with or past clients are coming back, should I charge them training discounted rate, or what do you think?
If they're coming back to participate in the Habit Maker?
So basically they're old clients, maybe they just have been with us for a while, then they're looking at this, oh man, a cool opportunity to kind of get back in the groove of things maybe, right? So I saw 2 clients that are old clients of mine, and one emailed me this morning. I just got a chance to get back. I just didn't think about it, about training prices. So should I charge my old clients that are coming back training, even though I won't be charging new leads or people who haven't experienced us?
When you say, but I'm confused. Are you going to bring them into the Habit Maker Challenge, or are you talking about?
So I emailed the whole list, right? So past clients, prospects, current clients, right? The different email sequences. And I'm having past clients that have been with me, that whatever membership they had, they're not currently with us, going to sign up signing up. So should I charge them training because they've been with us, or
but when does that make sense? Training, are you talking about the $21 fee?
Yeah. So
I would, because that's to charity. That's how you position it. Just say, hey, it's a charitable donation. So yeah, I charge them the $21 for sure. I charge everybody because it's going.
No, actual training, like a training rate, for like my monthly rate or whatever for training.
I think I understand where he's going with this, Eric. Genesis, what you mean is when old people come back and they haven't, so maybe they were with you, but then they haven't continued, and they're coming back because they want to try it out again. I think so. What you're asking is, do I simply, instead of letting them come back, do I simply start with having that conversation about, hey, what happened last time you were here? Is that kind of what you're asking? Like either that, or you let them come back and try it out no matter what, right?
So, but yeah, since they, for most part, they know what we're like, right? So I don't want people to come back just to get training for $21.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Because,
so do I be like, hey, you've been with us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So retrials is what you're talking about.
Yes, basically.
I see. Yeah.
Or even past clients, haven't been with us in a couple months, but they're just seeing this as an opportunity. And, and that could be saying something like, cool, maybe that they do need some more accountability if they're coming back for just challenges or something like that, but side note, but yeah, so should I charge these people? And I kind of already hinted that I may give them a discounted rate for doing it, the donation kind of thing. But I don't want to completely devalue my service,
I think, and I want to jump on this, and you guys can give thoughts, but because I've just been dealing with this myself recently, honestly. People coming back, like former members, and trying it out again. What I would do, Genesis, is in your case, I would, because your focus here with the 21-day thing is charity, let them sign up, let them give back, let them have that feeling of giving back to the community, let them experience that. During that time, while you have them, I would honestly sit, or even maybe phone call or sit down with them and say, hey, last time you were here, I know you guys didn't continue, so tell me a little about what's going on with that. Do you have intentions of becoming a member here or not? In my case, because of where I'm at, I have scarcity to use. So I say, look, we have over 300 members here. We've grown a lot since you've been here. Do you have intentions of becoming a member? And maybe not so forthright, but that's kind of how I am.
Gotcha. That makes total sense, though.
You know what I mean? I don't know what everyone else here in this group think, but that's what I do with people who retry, who have been with me even 6 months, a year ago, but they didn't become a member. I'm just genuinely curious that way. I want to know, hey, what happened last time you were here? why didn't you become a member? What can we do differently this time? Has something changed between now and then? Like, what's going on in your life? You know, like, 'cause I want to help you, you know?
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll approach it that way for the most part.
I think that's great advice. I think you're always better off trying to get the rat shit out of the rice, as Dick Chilton would say. And that conversation that Adrian just outlined does that beautifully, because you get to the crux of the issue. You know, a lot of people are concerned about being what they perceive to be confrontational in a conversation and avoid asking the hard questions. But really, it's to everybody's benefit if you do. So I think what Adrian said is like, hey, you know, what are your intentions? What happened last time? Are you interested in coming back? We'd love to have you back if you're ready and interested. But I would.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I would do that, but I would also, as Adrian said, I agree with as well, Genesis, is that I would give them the opportunity to participate in the Habit Maker at $21. This is my personal view. Yeah, others may differ, but I would do it only because I know that money's going to charity, and so ultimately we're doing a good
charity thing. Yeah.
And if there's Genesis, one thing that I think it was like 3 or 4 or 5 calls back here, Fred Zoller said it once, it stuck with me ever since. When you give back to the community and that's somebody's experience with you, it's vastly different from any other experience they have with a gym or a fitness center.
Mm-hmm.
It's vastly different. So let that former member give back, because they talk. And they talk to their girlfriends, they talk to their friends, whatever. Let them talk. Because then that way they have that relationship with you of good feelings.
That's good mindset behind it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
let them give back. Whenever you attach anything to charity, open it up to anybody who wants to, because that's them giving back from their parts. And maybe you never know. Maybe their second time with you is actually different than their first, and they want to stay on board.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Yeah, you
Love
got
it. That helped out tremendously.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Rick, give us an update on how things are going with you. I know you got 18 different balls in the air, but just share what's going on with you with the folks.
All right. Well, I need to just make the time to create the video that we were talking about with Chris. I just have to sit down and do it. So, and carve out some time. No excuse. I just haven't done it. I've been putting other things ahead of it. That's my bad. That's really where my focus needs to be right now to get that going. And obviously everything else we've talked about. Working on, actually with Chris, we're going to work on getting him monetizing nutrition in the group he's created. That's kind of next on our list for him, is so we can start marrying them together like you and I have talked about, Eric.
Yep.
I need Adrian to send me his email like 20 minutes ago so I can give him access.
What?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. Because that way I can give him access to my operations manager manual and the protocols and all that I told him I'd get him.
Oh, there you go. I sent it to you just now.
Got it. So you're going to have access to that in Dropbox here as soon as I get finished here.
Thank you, Rick.
And then the only other thing I need is I haven't heard that Aaron Crocker say a damn word all day. I miss hearing his voice.
I've got a couple of questions I'm going to ask from some of the comments. But, Rick, let's finish up with you, and I'll come back with my questions that I've got for everybody.
Okay. Yeah, really, I just need to get the video finished for the group. And then besides that, I'm waiting because we're going to do a very similar thing on a nationwide basis. So I'm waiting we're trying to buy the domain Get Fit America to do the same thing with the Get Fit Camden County and what we're doing on a nationwide basis.
Yeah.
I told you I'm going big with this thing.
I think that's great. And if you can't get it or it's just way too pricey, look at possibly Get Fit Now America. It's a little bit longer, but it's,
that's good too.
Yeah, another opportunity. I think the nutrition piece, along with the Smart Start group, definitely the ultimate objective is to drive clients. But the money, I think, could potentially from nutrition could outpace client revenue very quickly.
Very quickly, and it becomes a breeding ground. That group becomes a breeding ground for your personal training business the way we're trying to structure it.
Exactly. No, that's exactly right. It's both. We're trying to monetize both opportunities, training and nutrition. I just think done right over time, the nutrition piece can be really big, because it's an easy stick. If you do it right with Rick's stuff and JLab Pro, I think it's an easy stick.
Yeah, and that's the only other thing we're doing is we got developers working right now to where we're going to be embedding JLab Pro links into Pro Diets. And everybody's affiliate link will automatically pick up. So if somebody's on Pro Diets and they click on the link and you're an affiliate for JLab Pro, you're getting the 30% commission.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to marry it all to where just people are going to have several different lines of our streams of income within one group, the way we're trying to structure this thing.
Yeah. I think it's fantastic and it's exciting, and I'm just glad we got people moving forward with this stuff from your side and from our side, and all sides.
Yeah.
Keep it moving forward. All right, Aaron, you said you mentioned you had some questions.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's talk to Adrian, then we'll jump over to Chris. I don't know if you guys saw or not yesterday's release on the Starbucks thing, right? But according to their research as of yesterday, 62.5% of all Starbucks locations are within a mile of each other.
Wow.
Right? So, Adrian, my point to that is as soon as your 2 years lapses, you got to get out of that brand, right?
I know. Yep.
We've talked about it in the past, but I just found it very curious and interesting that Starbucks, now the question is Starbucks finally got too many locations. But when you have, 62.5% of all of them get another location within a mile, I mean, that's greed. That's just, as Eric says, that's just pure greed-driven instead of support-driven franchise, right? Chris, back up to you. A moment ago, you made the comment that you were trying to decide what the most important things to prioritize was in the TRC, which kind of caught me a little bit by surprise. So help me understand that comment. First of all, help me understand your flow. Is it that you're so far into it now that there's just been a lot of releases and you're now just coming back and getting to it and trying to figure it out, or what? Would you explain that for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am way behind on all the releases. So, for me, it's just going back and going through one section at a time and just trying to prioritize which one of those sections is going to be the most valuable for me in my business right now.
Yeah. So this is why, we don't release this stuff, at one big dump, because that's the fear, right? That, there's just so much stuff that you don't know what to do first. So I don't know what we can do about that, Eric.
No, I don't think there's any way around it. But the good news is that, Chris and others who've been with us for a long time and have access to all this stuff and can go sort of cherry pick. You understand that things are built in sort of a logical order and that you need some things in place like the charity component in order to move forward with the other things. And I think you've got those key pieces in place. You've got the onboarding, you've got the charity set up now. And so I can understand why you feel a need to do that. Plus, it's a time constraint issue. But yeah, I mean, I hear you, Aaron. And ideally, it's all implemented from the beginning to the end in sort of an order. But we've also gotten a little bit out of order, frankly, in our delivery, and so we're backtracking to fix some things. But
I think to kind of add on to that, like my first experience was, I don't know if this is the same for all new people coming in, but I just gave a level of urgency to the very first lesson, and I did that, and then I went to the second one. I think the only thing I didn't do yet was the third one, because that was like the client reactivation one, I think. That was it. Like otherwise, I went from like 1, 2, 4, and on. And I just did every single one because in my mind, they kind of built on each other.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's been my experience, but I think it made sense to me, like logically, to just do each one in order and not worry about, do I do this one or that one? I just go from like whichever one I haven't done yet, start from there and go.
Yeah.
That's how I've handled it. And then if there's a campaign like the Habit Maker, I haven't done that yet, but I'm doing it, and then I'm going to the lead magnet and the converter, but I'm going to save the Habit Maker for later when I do my next promotion and kickstart it then.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know?
No, that's good. I think there's so much. That's the thing. There is so much in the referral challenge that it can't. And Chris, you were moving locations, so I mean, there's life can get in the way. There are things that can happen without a doubt. We can't, which are out of our control and your control to some degree.
Yeah. I think you guys are doing an excellent job. This has been the best program I've ever been a part of. So it's not you guys at all. I think everything is laid out fantastic. It's just a matter of me, my time margin, prioritizing, and doing what I need to do.
Yeah. We just appreciate that you're still committed, still hanging in and moving forward. And we just want you to know that we're here to support you, as because it's all good, man. We're just want to have a tide that lifts all the boats, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Eric, let me jump back to Adrian one more time if we've got just another moment. So Adrian, back to your coming up, your limited membership and all that, right? As we approached that membership with I got to where I was asking clients, it was a brazen question, but done in a empathetic way, and it was that, Adrian, tell me why, now that we're reaching capacity, we should allow, you to join versus someone coming in behind you, right? And it was a shock to the person trying to join who suddenly wanted to be in.
Okay. And you don't think that would put too much pressure on a female versus a male?
You have to be very sensitive with that. I mean, you have to know who you're talking to. I wouldn't even begin to think that you could use that universally across the board, right? You got to have a sense for who you're talking to. But I'll tell you this, the people that I did that to are members 7 years later.
Well, and to add to that, that is actually one of the questions I have on on my web forms on my site, is not only why now, but why Fit Physique? Why not one of the other gyms? Why should we consider you? That question they've answered before I'm even on the phone with them or meet them.
Yeah,
so, that's a powerful question.
So in a way, Rick, you do use it universally, and people answer it regardless of where they're at. Yeah.
In that way, it's a lot less threatening. But Rick, I hope you'll expand on that. You mean you have them fill an online application first? Yeah.
When they go to my website and they're interested, they fill out a web form that I'm asking questions. Things eliciting emotion with it. Why they're wanting to do it. I'm asking questions that's going to bring out emotion. What's going on in their life and everything. And then, I'm asking them, have they ever worked with a trainer before? And then all of a sudden it pops up, why Fit Physique and not one of the cheaper options down the street?
Yeah.
Then why should we consider you over somebody else? I literally asked that. And they're telling me, they're selling themselves on me before they even met me, instead of me selling me to them. And then I literally asked them, okay, I give them a list of price ranges. How much can you afford? And the cheapest one, my price falls right in the middle of. And they pick that every time. And then my last question is, are you a procrastinator or an action taker that's ready to get started now? They answer that. Guess what? They've already told themselves that, 1, here's why I want to work with you. 2, here's what I'm willing to pay. And 3, I'm ready to get started now. So when I call them on the phone, they can't make other excuses and have other reasons.
I wonder if I might be able to apply that in my scenario then. I think what I might do is modify, because what I have a PARQ form, a physical activity readiness form. Mm-hmm. On the front of it is more of the medical health conditional type questions. On the back of it, I've always used it to ask more of those mindset questions, such as, what have you done before? How committed are you on a scale of 1 to 10? To a fitness program. I might modify some of my questions to start asking more of those pre-qualification questions, and then before I meet with them, use those in my conversations for setting up a meeting. I might do that and see how that goes.
Go to my website and click on the button and just check out the form. And then also, I even have another form that when they're signing, it's part of that fast action agreement that they fill out. That's telling me more. what they're wanting to get out of my program, what they don't want to see happen.
That makes sense. Would it make sense then, I wonder, then to have people fill out that form, bring it in for their first session, and then I can kind of use that to gauge like how they are during the meeting when I'm selling them in a way?
I have that.
Would that make sense?
That form when they're signing up, because that's telling me now what they want to see happen, what they don't want to see happen. So now I know what I need to do and what I not need to do to keep them as long-term clients.
That makes sense. I might want to mimic that and see what people do on their first session. What's your site again?
FitPhysiqueOnline.com.
Fit Online. All right, I'll go to that and I'll check that out.
Just click on the thing to apply now, or I forget what the button says, and I guarantee you the web form is going to pop up with testimonial videos and everything there. You'll see how it plays out. Okay.
Apply for free training. That one.
Yeah. Click on that. You go through. Fill it out, put your name in so I know not to respond to you. And you'll see what happens on the thank you page as well.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll see. And then, Oh, I see here. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, there's already questions like, if personal training had to be part of your monthly budget, what amount would you be comfortable spending?
Yeah. I mean, you'll see they're telling me right up front, why, and you see the one question, why Fit Physique and not one of the cheaper options in town? Yeah, I see that. And then, so basically your funnel kind of is like, fill out this questionnaire, we're going to call you, and then we set up a meeting going there, right? Yep, exactly.
Yep, that makes sense. I see that. Yeah. I might be able to modify that and see how it is. I've always had people come in and experience the culture of what we have going on before I meet with them one-on-one. I'm going to modify this for my purposes and let you know, Rick, because that could work.
Yes, but this works well if you're doing challenges because it qualifies.
True. Hey, good point. I might do that. Okay.
Rick, let me ask, sorry about the continuing ask here, but look, how many people actually fill out that form versus come in to see you without filling out the form? What's your split?
If they fill out the form and I do get them on the phone, most times they're going to come in. If they fill out that form, I'm usually going to get them in because that's on my that form there is not even to my transformation challenge. That's a shorter form. That one there is somebody out of the clear blue saying, I'm looking for a personal trainer. I need help. If they fill that form out, I'm calling them up because it's 99% chance they're coming in.
Sure.
They've invested all that time in filling out the form. They're applying for a job with you, basically.
Yeah, and like I said, if you read those questions, Adrian, they're selling themselves on my program. I'm not selling them. And I'm telling you now, the strongest sales approach is when you get the prospect to sell themselves and tell themselves why they need you instead of you telling them. I'm not selling them. They're selling themselves.
So then another question I have for you, because I noticed on your form before it says apply here for free training. So when they fill out the form, do you still offer them that 2 months of training?
Yeah, they're going to come in, and it's effectively the same offer that I give them with the fast action bonus.
Okay, got it.
You commit to 6 months, I'm giving you 2 months free. It's the exact same offer.
Okay, and you haven't had any backlash from people saying, hey, wait a minute, I signed up for 2 months free, let me do that, and then decide for the 6 months?
No, because I explained it to them up front. Again, I'm very transparent with this is what it is. Yes, you're getting 2 months if you decide to continue with the 6 months program. I'm giving you 2 months free. We're going to divide the payments over to 8 months, though, so I do make it cheaper for you.
Yeah, and I remember you said earlier you only really offer the 6 months training because you realize that your lifetime value is like, what, 12 or 22 months? 28 months? Yeah. Makes sense.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful lesson and takeaway selling in that whole velvet rope that you were talking about earlier, Rick. I'm going to make sure and point this out when I post the recording. Everybody should hear this. And Adrian, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing this right now at your capacity level. It's just a perfect fit for you.
Then what I might do is add more of a pre-qualification step to when they first come in. Another question I had for you guys it just came to my mind is, what if somebody says, okay, well, you guys have a lot of space taken up. I'm going to go to the one down the street. What I haven't had it happen yet, but how would you respond, I guess, to somebody who said that right there? In my mind, yeah, bye-bye. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, either that or
I really would. You don't, the more you need to watch the movie with Chris Farley and David Spade. Great movie about sales.
I know which one you're talking about.
Farley has to go on the road and sell the brake pads for his dad's company. It's a fantastic movie about salesmanship, and there is a scene in there it perfectly describes what the mindset required to be a good salesman. And that's when they're sitting in this cafe, and Chris Farley he picks up this little bun, and he's like, "This is my precious little sale. I love this sale. And then I kill it. And he smashes his bun. And it's quite funny, but he wants it so bad. He wants to close the sale so bad that he ruins it. He pushes people away. When you don't want the sale, when you can sit back and be like, just as Rick described, sell me on why you should have this great thing that I have, that I'm selling, that's when you have all the power.
Yep. Another thing based on that, Adrian, somebody says, well, you're already almost at capacity. Why shouldn't I go down to the street? Real simple. Do you go to the restaurant that there's no cars in front of?
That's a great one.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I like having sessions filled up, because it gives that presence of, hey, people want to be here.
Yeah. Again, you got that velvet rope around your business. You take somebody special to be here with us. You want to be down the street where there's nobody special. You want to be here with all special.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just saying.
Rick, can I just have a setup with you where if I'm in a sales consult, I say, let me talk to my manager and just put you on the phone?
That's how I found Rick. That's how I learned about Rick. This was maybe a little over a year ago when I saw a post in Virtual Fitness Mastermind where Rick wrote Rick, great writer, and he make these posts in there. This is before you were launching your Nutrition Profit for the first time. And you made this awesome post, and somebody made a comment that said something like, yeah, but Rick, can I just get you to close all the clients who call me or something like that? And that's when I said, oh, this dude must be a really good salesman. I mean, clearly you could write effective sales copy, but you just demonstrated here on this call, sales inside and out.
Sales isn't selling. It's learning about you know what sales really is? It's not only problem solving, but it's problem finding. If you can solve your clients' problems and find out and discover problems that they didn't know they had, that's what selling is.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm not be afraid to call them out on their bullshit, which is what you do really well.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Aaron, anything else, or are you good? You good? All right. Chris, anything else? Are you good? All right.
Good.
All right. Adrian, Rick, everybody, Chris, thank you all very much. Oh, Joe just showed up. Joe.
Oops.
Joe, can you hear me? Joe Butler. Joe.
You see something.
Just coming up. And I know, and she's great. I was hoping she'd be on the call, but we're about to shut it down. I just want to tell her nicely and not just suddenly sign off without her knowing. Oh, I come on, and they shut it down. Joe, are you there?
We're not leaving because of you, Joe.
Can we devote 5 minutes to Joe if she gets on here?
Yeah, if she does. Yeah. Joe Butler.
3, 2, 1. Nope, gone.
Oh, okay.
It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, it was. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out. I appreciate that. Just to make her feel welcome. I appreciate it. All right, you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Thank you very much.
Thank
See you guys. Thanks.
Okay.